Twitch? What's up, Twitch? Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, word. We're almost 30 followers. Let's go. That's lit. That's lit. Bro, I've been eating these cafe latte candies. They're so good. I don't know if I can see it. You know what I'm saying? How y'all feeling out there on this day? If you're watching from YouTube, hit that like and sub button. All right.
You are going to be placed under arrest.
Me?
You're Allie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault.
We have the newly released body camera video of the moment a substitute teacher is arrested for having sex with an 11-year-old boy. Allie Bardfield admitted to having sex with that boy and is now serving prison time. She wasn't always honest in this investigation, and the body camera video proves that.
I would be livid if my son or my daughter at the age of, what did he say, 11, came home and they said that they had sex with their teacher. Damn, bro. People are crazy out here.
I'll show you what she told detectives at her front door and how she blamed the victim in this case. We're on the case, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Allie Bardfield entered a guilty plea for having sex with an 11-year-old student of hers. It is a shocking story, and what's even more shocking is how she tried to play it when detectives arrived at her front door. Before I get to that body camera video, here is Bardfield in court in Macon County, Illinois, where all of this took place about 3 hours south of Chicago. This is the hearing where Bardfield admitted to abusing her student who is just 11 years old. But Bardfield wasn't always truthful to law enforcement in this investigation. This is the body camera video of the day that she was arrested in April of last year. Now, part of the audio is redacted, which is why you'll hear it drop out at times.
Okay.
6:38.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, do it now.
Hi. Hey, how are you? Hey, is Allie home? Yeah. Okay.
What happened to the audio? Why can't we hear it?
Sheriff's Office, and I'm assisting the Mountain Police Department. How many kids are home?
Three.
Three
Why?
kids. Okay, just you guys and the kids. Okay.
And
Because-
someone else.
Yeah, it's my brother.
Is your brother?
Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing. We have a search warrant for the house. Okay. You know, you are going to be placed under arrest.
Me?
You're Allie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to be for predatory criminal sexual assault to grooming. Okay, so that's why we're here, to take a look, to make sure we gather what we need out of the house. Okay.
For what?
Yeah, so I'll talk to you more about it here in a second. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to go in and start doing that,
Can I put the dogs up?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
please.
We're gonna have to follow you in though,
Yeah.
just to make sure. Okay. You have your phone with you?
One's a German Shepherd, so.
Okay. James, you want to stay here with me?
So you can see Bardfield acting confused and shocked as to why detectives are at her door, accusing her of sexual abuse and grooming. This is going on around 4:30 in the afternoon on April 3rd, 2024. The day prior, detectives say an 11-year-old came to the police station with his parents saying Bardfield, his 6th grade teacher, sexually assaulted him. Bardfield worked in the Decatur, Illinois school system. She was considered a long-term substitute teacher for the 6th grade class. She gave off the fun teacher vibes on social media. Here she is on TikTok with a young girl. Now, hours before her arrest, police say the 11-year-old boy did an interview with a specialist to talk about the abuse. Deputies also collected a sexual assault kit from the victim. Now here's more of what the detective told Bardfield at her front door when she was arrested.
I'm going to explain some things to you, okay? First off, I have to read your rights, okay, so I can talk to you, okay? You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do will be used against you in court. You have the right to an attorney, and if you can't afford one will be appointed to represent you free of any cost to you. Do you understand that? Okay. Have you ever been in trouble before?
Never.
Okay. I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain, but long story short is, okay, we've got a significant amount of evidence to include the conversation that you had with.
According to the court documents we have, at her front door, Bardfield denied having sex with the boy. The audio is redacted at that point, but you heard the detective say they had a considerable amount of evidence, including a conversation that Bardfield had. Now, he's likely talking about the conversation Bardfield had with the boy earlier that day, just hours before all of this happened, after his forensic interview. Police say that they and the boy's parents were listening in on a text, a voice call, and a FaceTime that Bardfield had with the young boy. They say during those conversations, Bardfield talked about birth control and pregnancy. She also told the boy to delete text messages.
Hell no. This girl deserves life.
And then they moved on to a phone call. And during that call, Bardfield told the boy that she could not get pregnant. She is talking with an 11-year-old. She is in her 30s. Now, police say on March 29th, 2024, Bardfield had that 6th grade student, her victim, over to her house. It was for a play date. That child's mom noticed her.
Where's OBS at? Turn it up a little
Her
bit.
son acting differently after the visit, though. According to police, the mom then checked her son's phone and social media, and when they talked more about what happened, the boy said that Bardfield had sex with him. Not only did Bardfield reportedly have sex with that boy, she also sent him $700 on Cash App. She bought him headphones that go for more than $400. She also sent nude photos to him on Snapchat. Here's the moment Bardfield is led away after this story gets even more shocking.
Are you taking my
And she'll be
case?
able to talk to you. No, I'll talk to you here about that. So that lady is with you.
Oh my God.
No, but listen. With you said that, it doesn't mean she's taking your kid. Okay?
Make a knife and show us secure out here.
We are going to give you, how you raise your kids and what goes on.
Oh my God, you're my wife.
I understand. I'm going to have you sit in the back because I want to be out of the wind and air. And I'm going to have you have a seat in this second vehicle here.
Felon registered 56 and a half, 10,300. OP revoked.
Which seat?
This up, right up here.
Just of the OP has observed to him.
You good, buddy?
Yep.
So, here's the thing, okay? You work for Hope.
Bardfield then gets into a police vehicle to talk to detectives. The audio is redacted, but according to court documents that we have, this is what she said. At first, she once again denied having sex with the boy, but then the detective said he had seen the nude pictures that she sent the boy on Snapchat, and when asked why she would send nude photographs, a teacher in her 30s, to a boy just 11 years old, she said, quote, "He kept asking and asking and asking and wouldn't leave me alone." The document also states that the victim had sent the teacher explicit pictures. Well, if you ever notice how some habits just sneak into your day without you even realizing it, for a lot of people, that means reaching for something on autopilot because you're stressed or run down, even though you know it's not good for you, which is why I want to tell you about our sponsor, Fume. It's an award-winning flavored air device. Was the 11-year-old's fault. To say it is like her, and you can see conversation inside camera video that the audio is redacted from, we can see the moments in this conversation inside the cruiser that police are laying out the evidence they have against her. And you can see her put her head in her hands as she realizes what her fate is likely going to be. It is notable that Bardfield tried multiple times to say that the boy made advances on her, that all of this was the 11-year-old's fault. At the end of this part of the conversation, Bardfield, according to court documents, was asked about how she was feeling. And she replies, quote, "I have my criminal justice degree. I'm in my master's program. This isn't how I want my life to be, but I didn't want the victim to feel uncomfortable as I felt uncomfortable. But I was just trying to act like nothing happened and just be there for him." At the end of the conversation in the cruiser, police say that Bardfield threatened to take her own life. She was then handcuffed and taken to the county jail. And from that moment on, Bardfield was held without bond. Per WAND-TV, here's the moment the judge at her first court appearance told her what the punishment could be for the charges that she faced.
It's a Class X felony, punishable by 6 to 60 years in the Department of Corrections. That would be served at 85%, followed by a mandatory supervised release of 3 years up to natural life and up to a $25,000 fine. It is not a probation eligible offense. And if convicted, you would have to register as a sex offender for the rest of your natural life.
Then in August of this year, Bardfield pleaded guilty to having sex with that boy. The state is now asking for a max 40 years in prison in this plea deal, opposed to the 60 years that she could have faced if found guilty at trial. As far as the Decatur Public School District, where Bardfield worked, I reached out for comment in the wake of her guilty plea. They told me since they weren't a party in that criminal case, they wouldn't comment. They did fire Bardfield after her arrest. The victim and his family, though, are suing the school district, and they claim what happened was not an isolated incident. I spoke to a Sim Cunningham who's representing the family, and this is what he said about his lawsuit.
What they really, really want to take place, though, is that other kids and other families who may have been a victim of this woman's acts to feel confident that if they come forward, that we can, hold the school.
Yeah, people that get caught, it's never the first time doing it. It's just the first time getting caught.
School district accountable for the lack of supervision that resulted in Ms. Bardfield being able to commit these acts.
And does the family believe that there are more victims of Allie Bardfield?
I can't speak for the family directly. There has been information that has come to light, some of which has been put into the complaint against the school district that leads us to believe that there may be more victims of Miss Bardfield, and there are likely more victims of abuse and harassment by faculty in the Decatur public school system against students.
When Bardfield was arrested, she said, according to court documents, that no other people would be coming forward saying that she
I'm noticing this is like a
sexually
big
abused
issue.
them.
Like,
It's important to remember when she was confronted with these
a
allegations,
lot of
it wasn't
people
until
that you
detectives
pass
laid out
by
their
that think
evidence
that
that
are
she
normal
admitted what
aren't
she was
really
saying
normal.
originally was
Like,
a
they
lie.
do
She'll
weird
be
stuff
sentenced
on
on
the
September
side.
25th. Joining us now to talk about this is prosecutor and former Deputy Attorney General of Ohio, Mark Weaver. Thank you as always for being with us on Law and Crime. If you were a prosecutor on this case and you watched that body cam video of Allie Bardfield, what would stand out to you?
Well, it's very good body cam footage. We can see exactly what happened. The sheriff's deputies were extremely professional in the way they executed the search warrant. She gave it up pretty quickly. She told the truth pretty quickly. Initially, she denied having sex with this child, but pretty soon when they let her know that they had recorded calls, they had text messages.
I don't think y'all understand.
There's a great case here. I wish all of the sex cases that I prosecute had as
So,
much evidence as this one. This is a pretty airtight case.
whether it be a boy or a
Because when you
girl,
look at, she'll be sentenced later this month, and in the beginning, and
she's
we watch it
definitely
now in
right.
hindsight, knowing the evidence that prosecutors and detectives had in this case, and there was a lot. And she initially is like, "Well, I've never been in trouble. Like my house, me," and then she, after that, seems to almost blame the victim a bit, saying that he was the one who wanted explicit messages, which, like, we're talking about an 11-year-old. It's
Right.
just,
Yeah.
it's so hard to wrap your mind around.
A
How
30-year-old
could those
woman.
statements made back in 2024 impact how a judge goes forward with whether accepting this plea deal and giving her the maximum, which I believe the state is asking for 40 years?
Yeah, the top end is 40 years. It could have been 60 years, depending on whether some of these counts would have merged and how many different sexual encounters there were. Uh, a jury would have hated her when they found out that she essentially claimed that this child, this 11-year-old little boy, a sixth grader, was somehow the instigator. A judge won't like that either. I'm going to guess that her defense lawyer is going to coach her up ahead of the sentencing, have her come in there and reel back in any notion that this was the child's fault. But this is what we see with some of these sex predators. They don't see that what they're doing is wrong.
Bro, and the crazy part is like there's so many like predators out there that you would even think twice. It's quite scary actually.
They're just acting out their fantasies. They're being the person they want to be. And mind you, she's got a degree in criminal justice and is working on a master's degree. So the notion that she doesn't know somehow.
Civil suit finds that certain things were not done by the school. They haven't had comment on either the civil or criminal case. But what type of investigation is typically done of a school district after a teacher like this is found guilty to make sure that there isn't some systemic issue within that school district where this could happen more?
Two primary ways of holding schools accountable. Number one is through the civil lawsuit process, where they're going to have to pay money for if they were found.
Yeah, we don't care about that. I'm gonna catch you on the next live stream. Trevor the Brightman OUT. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like and sub button. If you're watching this on Twitch, follow.